Morning, Smoke. We'll be right there. Okay, Cut?
Good morning, everybody. Going for coffee number 3.
That's rookie numbers right there. For those listening in on the recording, we will be having this recap all throughout the week on the ITT.com, or it's actually the innovatorsthinktank.com. You can see the live stream right as we speak. You'll be able to see that. And also on the Tech in Schools stream, their feed, they have the live recap throughout the week. So if you've missed a step or something just didn't make sense, you do have those to fall back on. So right now, as we wait for more people to come into the room, usually we give it about 5 minutes. So you can settle in, make sure your laptops are, like I said, open, that you have signed in, because that's really, really important. We are going to discuss what we did last night. So we're going to be talking about some various plugins, and we're going to make sure that we have our Stripe account. For many people, Stripe was kind of a surprise. It was a surprise attack for a lot of folks. And hopefully you've had your accounts approved. If you haven't, it's still no worries. You can always integrate with your checkouts and things on your websites as they come to pass. So if your Stripe is not activated yet, or like in my case, I had to set up a second one because I didn't want it to interfere with the existing one that I had. You know what? It's a Hakuna Matata. You're not going to have to worry about that. But definitely going through the muscle memory of the steps that we took last night. We're going to be doing that shortly. I wanted to welcome Smoke. I see Alisher's here. CJ, I see you. Fuzzy, I see you. I see Grotesque. Thank you for coming in. And of course, our beloved Star Boss. We will be starting shortly. I think Cash Money Kev might be behind the Josh Hellman PFP. I was thinking about Josh last night. He wasn't feeling too well, so hopefully he's feeling better today. Excellent, excellent. We want to make sure. And then hopefully in between 10 and 2, Nick, Alisher, and Ross will be getting the second half of the gift from Michigan, in which they'll have dessert for the pizza that was delivered last night. Yeah, technology humbles us all, doesn't it? It really, really does. So we'll be starting in a second. Alisher, can you test your mic for me, love?
Testing. Do you guys hear me?
Perfect. I wanted to make sure that we had all of that settled away, because sometimes there's a glitch right now in X world, and just in general, that depending on who brings you up to speak, you may or may not be heard by the host. So I want to make sure that Kev can also hear you. Kev, did you hear Alisher say hi?
Yeah, everybody sounds good on my end. Thanks for checking us there.
Also, I'm Android, so as far as X concerns, I'm like a second-rate citizen to X.
Yes, you are. You don't have a blue check, but you're first world in ours. So we love you to the moon and back, Alisher. You might want to, just for safety's sake, in case you need a backup to your backup, have the TSI icon and account here in the space, so that in case you do have to jump and bolt, you can be on the other account as well. And I see that Mattia has entered the room also. I'm going to invite you to speak, Mattia. You don't have to, just so you know. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, those kinds of things, obviously you can attach them to the purple bubble, but also we have the Slack channel. So for those that are involved in the class, definitely take advantage of the Slack channel. I know that Jeff G had some troubles last night, Alisher. Like he erased everything by mistake. So we want to make sure that he gets everything caught up. My biggest concern is that he may have damaged the cPanel in terms of eradicating everything. It's gone. So I think that behind the scenes, we have to connect with him to make sure that he's all back to normal, because he is afraid that he is out of the running for Ross's prize at the end of our class. So welcome, Britta. I see you. Happy Thursday. So we'll begin in just a second when Alisher's ready. Make sure you're logged in. Give me a thumbs up if you are logged in, so that we know that everybody is ready to hit the ground running, because excellent, Alisher. Very good. I am on my phone today, so I will be monitoring the room from up high at the strategic high ground here, and I am waiting for my stripe. So I am pretty much caught up. It's just I need to connect after the fact. So I may not be following along in the traditional sense, but we'll figure it all out when it gets sussed out later on. So Britta, did you by chance have everything that you needed in terms of getting caught up last night? Just a thumbs up, thumbs down. All right, so as soon as Alisher's ready to begin, we will begin. It's about 11. Good job, Britta. I love you. It's about 11:08. So for the timestamp, we're about 10 minutes in, and trying to keep it under an hour so that the boys can get some work done. I apologize for the dogs in the background. Amazon is here, so as it is, we'll see how that works. Go ahead, Alisher.
Okay, guys. So last night, from what I've seen, I had to teach a class at the same time. But you guys set up equity, and equity, ECWID, whatever it is you call it. And equity is a platform that sort of allows you to easily build a store without having to code it. And it also has a lot of connections to it, like Redbubble. So we're going to go through that setup again. It should be fairly quick. And we're also going to cover how to fix up our menu. I think that's another one of the big main points that we focused on last night. So I'm going to log in. Remember, when you guys are logging in, you're in your cPanel, and you want to click the second link that ends with a WP-admin. If it's a WordPress, most likely the login page is always going to be in /WP-admin. And I have a fresh WordPress here that doesn't have anything. And we're going to start with first, I think, is by editing the menu. So we looked at a few ways of editing this menu. If we go and take a look at my page right now, well, there's only two things here, homepage and uncategorized, because I don't have anything on this website. But I just want the homepage, and I just wanted to say home instead of home page. So the way the menu works is it's very easy to start out with. The first step you want to do is actually determine what's in your menu. So most of us are going to have a few pages. Once you set up your store, it's going to create all sorts of other pages as well, like my account and whatnot. And we want to focus on, well, let's just set up this menu right now and then add on to it. I'm going to go to Appearance, Menus in my WordPress dashboard. And I'm actually going to leave this up here for a few minutes so you guys know where to go. And we're going to make our menu. We're going to add all the items to it. And then we're going to leave it. And we're going to revisit it as we go on week to week, adding more pages. So remember, Appearance and then Menus in your dashboard. That's where you want to go if you want to edit your menu. This is the fastest way to edit your menu. It gives you this little menu builder. And so here, I'm going to give it a name. This is going to be my main menu. And I'm going to set it as my primary menu. And if you have a menu in the footer, if you ever want to put a menu in the footer, you can set it as your footer menu as well. And then you want to create the menu. So again, guys, you want to go to Appearance Menus. You want to make a menu. You'll start out empty. And then I want to add my page to it. And so here we have options. You can add a page, or you can even add custom links. So if, let's say, you want something on the menu to go to a link that's not on your website, you can always add custom links. You can even add custom blogs in here, blog categories, really anything you want to this menu. I'm going to start out with a homepage. So here's my homepage. I'm just going to add it to the menu, and I'm going to add a few more things. I'm going to use the custom links, and I'm going to add my TSI website, for example. I'm going to call this TSI website. And then I'll add another one just to fill up my menu, just so we know that it's working and these links are going somewhere. Let's do AI Tutor. So maps.ai. And let's also throw in Pixio in there. Why not? So all the websites that I use every day. Now, I have my menu items. If I want to change one of these, there's a drop-down option to change each one, and different modules will have different things to change. So I want to change homepage to just home, or let's just call this recap example. And I'll make sure I save menu. This is what's important, guys. Always save. WordPress has a save button on almost every page where you're editing. So whether it's your equity options that you're editing or your blog that you're editing, you always want to save. Save either a draft, publish, or save it in some way where you don't lose your progress.
Jumping in real quick, Alisher, when you says equity, it's spelled ECWID. The link is in the purple bubble. I know it sounds weird, but that's what he's saying. It's not equity, EQUITY.
No,
Just so you know.
It's ECWID. You're absolutely correct. Yes.
Go ahead and continue, Alisher. I apologize for interrupting.
Yeah, no, you don't need to apologize. And I will say one thing. The reason I'm calling it equity, because I have also called it ECWID always, but after watching a lot of their content that they put out, I think if we call it equity, it's going to be easier for you to understand when you're watching their videos, if you ever come across them, because they call it equity. I actually got an ad one time, and I was like, oh, what is this ad actually about? And I didn't understand what it was about until I saw the website. Okay, so make sure you guys save the menu. And Dan, I see your hand up. Do you have a question?
Yeah, just a real quick clarification about the word page. That I've gotten myself like very confused in what the word page actually means. So, for example, I've just been working on one page, like my music for meditation website, like in cPanel, and sorry, in the like the main WordPress box. You know, like once you log into cPanel. I guess I'm just kind of wondering, should I be making like each page of a website as a different page in that menu, or it seems like like the word menu means that like that's going to be the different pages of a website where people are clicking. I guess I'm confused about the nomenclature, so just wanted to clarify. Like, or could you do it both ways?
So
Does
the
that
things
make
in the
sense?
menu do not have to be different pages. You can actually add anything to the menu. And what you're doing is, I think you're actually building a one-pager, right? You're building a one-page landing page. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a one-page landing page, but I do want to add external links, which is what you're going through right now, which is amazing.
Okay, so check this out. Do you want any of the sections on your one-pager to be in the menu?
Yeah, I mean, just actually, I don't know if it'd be too many, but it'd be nice to have people be able to click directly to a single track, because I have embedded MP3s and images. So if people are looking for a particular meditation, they can go straight there from the menu. Is what I want ideally.
Okay, so check this out. I'm going to show you in the live stream. There's an extra step. So we're going to create different anchors on a page for different sections, and then you can link that to the menu. I'll show you right now on the screen. So right now I'm editing. Right, this is my home section. I can go to the settings of the section. Remember, make sure it says section settings when you're editing. And I'm going to go to advanced. And I'm going to look for CSS ID and classes. It's the first option in advanced. And I'm going to set a CSS ID. And this is going to create an anchor for us that we can reference in a menu. So I'm going to make this home, make this easy. And the CSS IDs, I highly recommend keep them all lowercase. Then I'm going to go to the next section. I'll find a different. Here's the next section. Same thing. I'm going to go to section settings. I'm going to go to advanced. I'm going to select CSS IDs and classes, and I'm going to set an ID. Let's make this. We'll make this about. I'm just arbitrarily naming these. And we'll do another one. We'll do 3, so we get a good idea how to do this. Let's make another one here. Testimonials. Perfect. So again, I find my section settings for that section. Section settings are going to be they're going to be the blue highlight. So when your website starts to get squared and blue, there's section settings. I'm going to go to advanced. I'm going to go to CSS ID, and I'm going to make this. Let's make this reviews. You want to keep these CSS IDs lowercase, just because it's going to be easier for you to parse these through. And then make sure you save your page once you set any sort of CSS ID or make any sort of change to your page. And now we can reference these in our menu. So I'm going to go back to my menu builder, and I'm going to add to this menu. So we'll start with home. So I'm going to go to custom links. We'll start with custom links. And the way you reference these is your URL should be hashtag the name of the section. So let's say I want to go to hashtag the about section. So I'm going to go hashtag about. This is where I use my CSS ID. So you set your CSS ID, and you can use it in here by calling hashtag the ID that you set. So hashtag about, it's going to be about, add to menu. And then I'm going to do hashtag reviews. That's not a hashtag. Hashtag reviews. This is going to be testimonials. And we'll do home as well. Hashtag home. So I can scroll back up. I think I set that up. Maybe. Now, you can build your menu however you want. You can have the home page. So let me rename this back to home page. And let's say you want to make a drop down in a menu. You can actually start nesting these within each other. So I can put this inside of the home page. And this will actually make a drop down out of the home page link. And so now I'm going to save these. And again, the way you do this is on your page, you can go to section settings. You can go to advanced options for these settings and set a CSS ID. Should be lowercase, should be something short to identify the section. For you, it could be the names of the different meditation songs that you have, and then make sure you save. So saving is also important because you want these changes to come through onto your page. And then in here, you go to custom links. You put hashtag whatever CSS ID you made, like about, reviews, and then the link text. What do you want it to actually say on the menu? And then make sure you save the menu. So I'm going to save this menu. Awesome. And now let's go and check out this menu. So here it is. Here's the homepage. It's a drop down now for me because I wanted to turn it into a drop down. And then when I click about, it's going to scroll down to the section that I set the ID for as about. Then testimonials, same thing. Here's it scrolls down to testimonials, and then so on. You could do this for every section. These menu items could just be sections of your homepage. They don't actually have to lead anywhere besides your homepage. So, does that answer your question, Dan?
Oh my word, Alistair, that just like blew my mind because I mean I was doing it in a very complicated way and just kind of doing each section at a time, but I found like the duplicate button the other day, and so I can just check for understanding. I can just create the 12 sections of the one pager, have a CSS ID, and use that basically like a serial bus or like a send on a mixing board. That I always think in audio. And then that can just go straight to that page, and I could basically probably recreate what I've done like in 10 minutes now instead of like 4 hours. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Awesome. So I would say that's pretty much everything you really need to know about the menu at this stage. You want to make it a drop down, you can just drag the item under the one you want it to be a drop down of. And beyond that, you can just bring things from your pages, you can bring things from your posts, you can add whatever links you want to this menu. The simplicity of this builder is what makes it good. Now, what we spent majority of time on last night is the equity part, the actual e-commerce shop for our website. Well, we're going to do the same thing right now. And you can get started two ways. Of course, we can go to it. We can go to ecwid.com. We can make an account. I might already have a basic account set up. Let's see. Log in. Sign in with Google. Now, when we log in, we'll still need a plugin. So another cool thing about Equity is it integrates into WordPress itself really well, and it kind of alleviates the need for you to make 5 different pages like you typically would with something like WooCommerce. And instead, it kind of houses everything inside of its own little builder. So here's my Equity. It looks like it's a fresh account. This is how most of you guys will start out when you sign up. Now, after this point, I can actually just go and get my WordPress plugin and work out of the WordPress. I don't even need to come back here. So I'm going to go to my WordPress, and from my WordPress dashboard, I'll go to plugins. I'll go to add a new plugin, and then we'll look for ECWID. They have, about 20,000 active websites, so that's good. Fairly high rating, updated 2 weeks ago. Passes all of our checks for a good plugin. Okay, cool. So immediately, this gives us this whole ECWID section. I'm going to click Connect Your Store, and I'm going to sign into my account. Should already pick up my account. There it is. My email. Perfect. Accept. All right, and immediately, here's my equity dashboard as it was on the other page. Awesome. So all I really have to do is now set up my store page. Let me see if I have any products. So here, let's go to catalog, products. That's how we get to products where we can edit them. Looks like I have a bunch of pants, hoodies. Cool. This looks very stock. Now, you guys can also, of course, set up your payment. You can connect Stripe. Now, let me see what Stripe I'm logged into first before we do anything. I'll switch it back to the Stripe I used for our SaaS build. You guys can also add other things. Let's say you have an actual shop, like a physical store where you use Square. Now, a lot of stores use Square. Square kind of makes it easy. It unifies your inventory numbers. So now you can actually connect it to Square, and you can receive different inventory numbers from Square, keep it updated, so your in-person shop and your online shop kind of correspond to each other, instead of, let's say, saying you have something in stock and not actually having it. So, but we'll focus on Stripe, because Stripe is where we want to be for most of our online purchases and online payment processing. Okay, there it is. Wednesday. Perfect. So let's connect and enable. There you go. Connect. And yeah, guys, one thing I will note, if you are using a Stripe for something already, I would recommend creating a new Stripe account. Remember how we went onto Stripe and we went into the account section at the top left and we made a new one? That's what you will want to do, because this is almost like a new storefront. And if you're using your Stripe for something else, you don't want it to mix in. And this is where you might need to go through the verification process again, but hopefully it verifies you guys within a few days.
Alice or Love, you have a question from CJ.
Go ahead, CJ. What's up?
Hey, so I barely got signed up for Equid. Like, I didn't watch the one last night because I was working. I tried to listen in, but so I'm like way behind. Do I just follow all the steps on here to connect that to WordPress?
So the easiest way for you to connect it to WordPress is you're going to go to plugins. You're going to edit, click add new plugin, and you're going to find the equity plugin, ECWID. Then you're going to turn on, download it, activate it, install it, and then it'll prompt you to log into your account inside of WordPress already.
Awesome. Thank you.
Now, let me check out my front page. Let's see if it already started to add things. It did, actually. Awesome. So, check this out, guys. Pretty much as soon as you log into your equity account, what you're going to notice is your WordPress will have a new page called Store. And on the Store page, well, here I have all of my products. If you guys want to go ahead and edit some of these, delete some of these, you can go to your WordPress dashboard. You can go to ECWID on the side menu and then go to Catalog, Products, and here's where we can find all of them. And you can delete these, you can edit these. Check one of these out. Check out the first one. You can add your pictures in, you can put the name in, the SKU number, you can really put whatever number it is, as long as it's a unique number and it's easy for you to identify with whatever system you will be using to keep track of these products. And of course, if it's a digital product, well, there's actually many other ways of using this. at the end of the day, this could just be something to process payments for you. So you can use this for your services. Let's say somebody wants to book a consultation call with you. Well, you can actually just put it in here as a product and have them buy it. And that money will eventually hit your Stripe. This could also be a digital product. If you check this out, there's a files section where you can actually upload digital products. And then that's a digital product people will get once they purchase this actual product. But yeah, this is pretty much how most of the different e-commerce platforms will have you set up your products. You have your title, description, pricing. You can mess around with the different attributes, so sizes, colors. If you ship a product, this is where you can specify the different dimensions. You can specify the actual shipping methods you're going to use, how much it costs, how much more it is on top of what the customer is already paying for the product. And here you can also set up some related products. So sometimes on the product page, when you go to view a product, you're actually going to see a section where there's other products connected to it. So you can set those relationships up here. And this actually allows you to get a product button, like a cart button, add to cart, buy, with a little bit of product information as an embed. So you're able to embed individual products throughout your website and then lead to your store and buying that product. What's up, Sarah?
Yeah, just to jump in. Last night, I remember Ross saying that you had 10 items for free, and then otherwise you have to kind of bump it up. Is that true? Or because I was thinking about this last night, if you had bundles of products. So my question would be like, trying to think of a good example, but somebody had asked me last night and I thought, I don't know, where if you bought the collection, you would have a cheaper price, and then they listed out each individual item. I don't know how you would do that. It would probably just take up one of those 10 slots, right?
Yes, but what you could set up is, let's say, let me see where this is. Okay, so let's say you have a product, right? And your product comes in 10 different sizes. Well, you can actually set it up in options. So that's not going to be 10 different products. There'll be one product with 10 different variations. So you can think of it that way.
So like you're a consultant, right? So that you have a consulting fee, but then you have 5 different options: 15-minute consultant, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 2 hours, or a week, or whatever.
Great
they
example.
would all be okay. Excellent.
Great example. Yes, they will all be here. So what you will start off with is you're a consultant. You have your base consulting fee. Absolutely. It would be your pricing. And then you would add these different options, and these options will let you determine, how long it is. Yeah. Another thing is, it doesn't necessarily have to be different options. It could even be add-ons, right? So let's say you're building a website. Here's the base. Here's the price for the base website, and here are the add-ons for me to add automatic backups, for me to add SSL, for me to add, any little thing. It could also go into options, and that will be one product. So this could be one product with 5 different pricings inside. So that is kind of a way around the 10 product limitation.
And it's definitely a way for folks to kind of think creatively in terms of what your offerings are, and then how you are going to, shuffle things through. Because honestly, unless you can start promote or paying for itself, you try really hard to have that 1-800-JUSTIFY call to hand over your credit card. So you can kind of think about these things as, those drop down menus as different pieces of the offering, and maximize how many things you can offer within that that parameter that they're setting. So, you know, a lot of these kinds of tricks of the trade, lack of a better term, will help you, you know, expand out your business as you go, you know, so you're paying as you go, not as, you know, having a huge amount of money up front, because most people don't have a huge amount of money up front to pay for all of these things. And so, you know, this is one of those things too, that talking in the Slack channel behind the scenes, you know, trying to understand different ways that, I'm not saying that we're gaming the system, but definitely using the parameters to our advantage, put it that way. So just keep that in mind when you are orchestrating it. For me personally, I'm a visual person. So my whiteboard has the little boxes and then those little drop down menus, and I have each of my products or each of my offerings fighting for that spot, you know, and they have to really work hard and justify them being included in those 10 spots, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And you know what? Because the next tier up is their first tier, and it's 100, right? So you kind of you have to justify, do you need to be at a point where you have 100 products in the store? So that's another thing to think about. And I think most of us, especially if we're just starting out, we can make do with 10 products, because at the end of the day, if you want to offer thousands of products, you can always use something like WooCommerce, where you don't have a limit at all, but then you're forced to kind of go in and be a lot more in depth with each product. This allows you to create products fast. So it'll get us to the point where somebody can purchase it a lot faster than something like WooCommerce. And it also has some great connections and integrations to the different services, like Redbubble, for example. Okay, now guys, so far what we should have is a store with some products that are, you know, sample. They aren't products created by us, and it actually gives you a card too. Nice. So this page it creates automatically, and I think what I want to do is, I really don't like this sidebar, so I want to maybe edit this page, see what we can do with the design of this page. So first, I'm actually going to click Edit Page this time, probably for the first time, instead of Enable Visual Builder. So I'm clicking Edit Page because I want to see some other page options that aren't inside of Divi. Cool. And the first page option that I really care about is these page settings. I do not want the sidebar. And here on the bottom right, you can select an option for page layout that says no sidebar. Then when I click update, it should update that page to have no sidebar. And we'll see, maybe even the layout of the page will change now, since there's no sidebar. Maybe it'll give me 3 columns instead of 2. So let's check out this page. By the way, to view the page, there's a button right next to update. It'll open the page in a new tab for you. And there you go. This setup for the store already looks great. If I want to edit these even further, well, that's going to be done in Ecwid. So if I go to my WordPress dashboard, go to Ecwid here, I'm going to go to design, so configuration, design, and here's some of the options that you get. Another great thing is this makes your store responsive on every device. So they have this team at Ecwid. They put a lot of care at making the designing of your store simple. So either large, medium, or small icons, depending on what kind of store you have. I'll stick with medium to get a good balance. Here we can choose, well, do I want these images to be square or any other aspect ratio? We'll keep it as square. Darken image backgrounds? Sure, why not? Product details? Okay, so now I get some interesting alignment options. My center align person, justify. Ooh, I like justify. All right, we'll crunch them a little bit together. product card frame. Let's see. Okay. This makes a little card out of it. That looks good. And then here's all the different things it could show. Show price, show name, great. Buy now button. When you mouse over it, there's the buy now. Okay, that's a pretty good design. Let's see, main product image should be shown. Additional product images, what would that look like? Also changes in the image a little bit. Why not? We'll leave it like that. Now, for categories, we don't really have categories set up, but I think if you guys have more than 10 products, if you're investing in this platform, you're having now 100 products, you definitely want to set up categories. And here's the product page layout. Okay, so this is what it looks like when I'm looking at a product. This is pretty good, but maybe let's see if there's an option for a smaller image. 3 columns. That's actually a little bit better. Navigation shown a header. Absolutely. Okay, previous next, that's fine. Image gallery. Let's see. So right now we have it here on the bottom. We'll keep it on the bottom. And if you want to include the SKUs, if you want to include all this information, like how many products you have, to create some sort of scarcity, for example, you can definitely edit all these. You can also, on the sidebar here, you can move the different layouts. So you can move these around. Let's say I want to share buttons to be below the details. I can move that down. Or actually, it's forcing me to have that. Never mind. Okay, so storefront navigation colors. That's all good. We don't really have categories. And then you can also mess around with CSS a little bit. So you yourself can, when we get to custom CSS, actually create a theme and change every single color. But for now, they have this color adaptation, which takes the theme of your website. Just convenient for us because we all are using Divi, and Divi has a very distinct theme. Okay, so these should actually already be saved. Doesn't look like there's a save button anywhere, unless you guys see it and I don't. No, looks like I can already go and see these changes. So let's go to store. And let's see. No, these changes aren't here yet.
I'm not seeing a save button anywhere, but I am not getting my changes saved. So I don't know what I did wrong. Okay, I cheated. I just put refresh. I don't know if that works on yours or not, but we'll see.
Yeah, there you go. Takes a second to actually hit the page. But yeah, it does work for me. Here it is. Each one of them is a card. Different picture appears when I hover over. There's a buy now button. And it's in 3 columns. Yeah, so this actually works really well. Nice. So now, this is our store setup. So now, well, what can I do with it? Well, here's my card. This already creates all the necessary pages for you. As you can see, you have store card. It takes care of all the checkout stuff, all the payment collecting. It takes care of you guys creating your own account. So if you want users to have accounts, log back into them, you can actually use Ecwid for that instead of any other account management system. And you're able to mess around with the design. So I think from yesterday until now, and probably until we meet again on next Wednesday, this is what we should be doing, is trying to set up our store. Now, I want to show you guys one more thing. How do you add the store somewhere else? Well, let's make a new page, or let's see if we can add it on the front page. Let's go enable Visual Builder, and I want to add a section on this front page for the store. Let's grab one of these already existing sections. This one's fine. Duplicated. Don't really need anything inside of it. Cool. So from an empty section, we can actually, let's see if there's a store option, one of these blocks. So now there's a new module in your Divi. So if you're building out your page, and let's say you want part of the products, like 5 or 6 products out of your 10, to appear on your front page, you actually have a new module in Divi now. So whenever you're adding something onto your page, there's a new module called Equid Store. And this is going to bring in an Equid widget onto your front page. Looks like this is the only option that lets you. Okay, so you can specify the content. Our browser, okay. Default category. We'll see if this brings anything in. Let's save. So remember, if you're editing your page and you want products to appear somewhere other than your store page, you can embed an Equid Store module, or there's actually another way, which is embedding an individual product. So I'm going to add another row underneath this one, and we're going to embed an individual product. So I think it's a code module that you can paste anything inside of. Let me check this front page real quick. And remember, if you want to paste an individual product, we'll go to that product, and it actually has an embed code that we can check out. So we can make this embed product by button. That's what it looks like. Let's do it. Just the button, 2 columns. Let's just do the one. Cool. So it looks like this embed, looks like the Divi module that it comes with is not great. So I don't recommend you use this Divi module, and instead just use the embed. Because it looks like this module right here actually not very well set up for the style. So instead, we'll just use the code option and embed whatever little piece of code that we want to embed. Check out the homepage, exit Visual Builder. Okay, and it kind of starts to adapt the theme of the website. So you guys can play around with it. If you want to set up maybe 3 products, you can set up 3 different columns and put a product in each one. And guys, just watch out. There is one thing to look out for here. It does create a cart page, a little shopping cart button on your website whenever you add a product. So if you have a product on that page, it will have a little shopping cart on that page as well. If you want to get rid of it, we'll look at some custom CSS option as we go along next week or the following week that we can use to get rid of certain styles and certain elements on specific pages or globally. Okay, so guys, let's take 5 minutes for any questions we have about Equid and just creating a store out of your WordPress or the menu. Those are the things we covered.
just to get a gauge of the room, give me a thumbs up if you are caught up at least, or at least understand where you need to put some more time and effort into. Like for me, in excellent, thank you, CJ. For me personally, I'm going to have to fill out my store. And I have to wait for my verification for Stripe. So going through the motions today was very helpful because now I understand a few more pieces of the puzzle, right? There were some things that were very confusing to me last night, and obviously you going through the motions again helps solidify those things in your head. For those of you that are in the same boat that I am, right, that you're kind of in a holding pattern waiting for the powers to be to bestow you with the magic wizardry you're allowed to, pass kind of thing. I highly recommend coming back into the Innovators Think Tank, watching the replays, and then also looking at the Tech in Schools X feed. They have the replays running all the time. And so you can kind of catch up where you need to be, for instance, right?
And
One of
we have
go ahead.
YouTube is also up now. From week 1 to 3, all those recordings, they're also on YouTube.
Excellent. I mean, these are all of the different facets. And also, when you hit a snag, you can always go into the Slack channel and get an instant, whether it's from Nick, Alisher, or Ross, or a fellow classmate, right? That's one of the part and parcels of the gig here, is that we're all kind of working together and muddling through. Now, if there's a plugin that just doesn't work for you, you know what? Get it out. Just take it out. I want to make sure too. I know Jeff is driving today, but I do want to make sure that he does not get left behind. That he managed to blow up everything last night, so we want to make sure that he gets all of his pieces back into place, so that we can kind of rebuild that out. And hopefully, he didn't compromise the C panel. I'm not
Quick
sure you can.
question, Sarah. Do you
Go ahead.
know what Jeff's domain is?
I do not. And I know that he is driving and in the listening audience. I do not know what that is, but I know that he is in the Slack channel. Jeff, if you have the option to put that domain in there so that the guys can look behind the scenes, so that when you're not driving, you guys can all be on the same page. That would be super helpful, because you are all kind of, in a way, being judged, right? You're weighed and measured based on how much time you're putting into these kinds of things. And I think all of us kind of want to have that C panel, right? And especially for folks that are wanting to make a business out of this, who want to build websites for other people, who have a propensity to do that. Maybe they found that this is so much fun that that's what they want to do. Then put the time and effort in it, make your website cool, because this is serving as your portfolio and your documentation of your journey.
Oh, by
Go
the way,
ahead.
I know she couldn't share, but I have Starboss's site and it looks amazing. So we do have it.
See?
even though it wasn't published.
She's doing good. I'm so proud of Starboss. She is putting in the work. For folks that don't know, she
Actually,
received the scholarship.
One thing before we end. And Jeff, I see your speaker. What is your domain before we end? Want to tackle these two things real quick?
It's OKEMP dot whatever the rest of the domain thing, and then the WP admin.
Okay, so that's all I need to know. So okay, it has okay in it. I can go from there. Thank you. And yeah, I mean, if you are missing everything, the best thing I can do is just relaunch your WordPress for you. But let me double check. No, everything is still there, Jeff. Your website is still there. I'm on your website right now.
What I lost was everything I had built. When we were going in before, you'd have to go to the home page, which shows the builder page, right? The Divi builder thing. And then there'd be a menu bar at the top. And one of those was, I don't remember exactly, it was number.
Yeah, so what you need to do, Jeff, is it's still there.
Me to the page that I had been building, and all of that's disappeared.
Jeff, it hasn't disappeared. Don't worry. You need to go to pages in your dashboard, and you will see all the pages there, including the no title page. So check that out. And if you still don't see it, just hit me up on Slack.
The no title page that's there right now is the one I started building last night when I realized that had disappeared.
Okay. Then I'm not sure where it went, but the cPanel is fine, and you could always just make more WordPress pages or more WordPress websites. You don't have a limit on that.
Jeff, did you have your question answered, love? He may be driving too, so we don't want him to.
Also,
Go ahead.
just a quick heads up, Jeff. When you delete a page, you can still find it in trash in pages. So check that out. I see you have 4 pages in trash. One of those no title pages in there could be yours. So just check that out. And if it is, there's an option to restore.
Ooh, this is worth the price of admission.
And one more thing, Starboss, are you watching the live stream?
Starboss can't answer you. She's not on speaker, but I can put her there.
Just give me a thumbs up, Starboss. Yes. Okay. So check this out. If you're on a live stream, pay careful attention when you're editing the page, because you had a question earlier that I saw in Slack. I can go to edit page, and it's going to give me more page options. And you can have a page published, but visibility of this page here on the right, you can set to private. So only the people who are logged in, which is just you at this point, will be able to see it. So you can change the visibility to private or even password protected. So you can set a password, and then only people with that password are able to see the page. Because I know you had a question where you wanted this to be either private or draft. So that's how you would do it. And make sure you update after you change the visibility. So it'll take effect. Okay. I think, do you guys have any other questions? I wanted to address those 2 things so we don't have those hanging till next week.
I think we're good, Alisher. The one thing I was going to say is that Starboss is knocking the ball out of the park. She was one of the recipients of the scholarship, and she has showed up for her classes behind the scenes and is really plugging away, even when it's frustrating. So for those of you that are watching from the cheap seats, that's how you do it. Slowly but surely. It doesn't have to happen all at one time. You just continue to kind of chip away at your goal, and you'll get there. It may not come to you right away, but I know for sure she inspires me to keep going too, because sometimes I just want to throw my laptop. There's no question about it, to see how aerodynamic it is. Technology has that way of doing that to humans. So we are now heading on the 12 o'clock hour, the high noon hour. I hope that each and every one of you got caught up, feel good about what you've invested in today, and that you've, hit a point where, yeah, I'm doing the thing, and it is something really special when those sites get published, when your projects get out there into the wild. One of the things that I hope that you all consider very, strongly, is that you'll sign up for a pitch spot on Saturday. I know that it can be very unnerving and scary, but it doesn't have to be fully complete. You're trying to hone the messaging. You're trying to take it from your idea to impacting the world around you. And each step of the way, you have to kind of check the little boxes. So if you've gotten this far and you've created a website, you have an offering, something, it's attached to a Stripe, and they can actually purchase it. You could actually log in and say, oh my gosh, somebody bought something that I built. And if you're crazy enough to build it, I can guarantee you someone out there is crazy enough to buy it. It's just the way of the world. It's statistics, the law of averages. But I do hope that you show up on Saturday. It's a unique opportunity. You're amongst friends. You're going to get constructive criticism in a safe room. You're going to get really good ideas in terms of how to progress, how to better yourself, how to better the product, how to kind of recognize some pitfalls, some things that are going to, maybe throw a monkey wrench into the whole entire works that you have set up. Those are really important pieces of feedback. And so I look forward to seeing you on Saturday. If you're not brave enough yet, and I say yet, come and visit anyway so you can hear the wonderful speakers. The entire Saturday is set up in different segments. So you have expert segments, then you have your pitch. And of course, on Saturday night, Nick, Alisher, and Ross, they create some really fun stuff for us. They work really hard all week to create demos that inspire us to do awesome and to expand our own comfort zones when it comes to AI. So thank you for coming in today. If there are any other comments, questions, and concerns, I see that Dan has arrived. Dan, did you want to close out with anything for Nick and Alisher? And Ross, I think, is behind the scenes somewhere there before we close out.
Ross is already in a meeting, so
excellent. I'm hoping that you get some sugar soon. It's supposed to be there before 2.
Thank you, Sarah.
That's awesome. Well, 2 things. Number 1 is just another great big thank you to everybody here that has been tirelessly working, not just on these spaces and like the after the post-mortem space, but also in Slack and XDMs and all the places. So it's huge and it doesn't go unnoticed. It's just such an opportunity for all of us to really level up and try something new. Like I never thought I would be a web designer, but I am so loving this. So, and second thing, I wanted to just ask whoever is behind the Josh profile. I don't know if it's Josh or Kevin, but I think I was signed up for a pitch like in week 53, and I kept like getting either I wasn't available or like there were a lot of people. Should I sign up again? Because I think I'm going to be ready, and it'll give me the push to hop up there and then pitch the website.
Dan, don't you even worry about filling out the form. This is Cash Money Kev, by the way.
Hello.
And we got you signed up. We'll make sure it happens, man, and get you up first. How about that for ITT number 57?
Nothing will focus your attention more, like facing a firing squad in the morning, Dan. So now it's set in stone. It's on the whiteboard. You got to show up. Must be present to win, right?
Yeah, I mean, so I need a deadline. That's what I know about myself as a creator. I just need a deadline.
That's how Maker Faire works. A lot of times our prototypes are just not going to work, and you have 8 weeks. And 8 weeks, you try to get that prototype done, and you show up with whatever is there. And I guarantee you, no one wants to show up with something that's still a box of parts. Just like with robotics, everybody will come together and make sure that thing works. So, at any rate, thank you for all of you being here. Cash Money, you want to lead us out, friends?
Yeah, I just had a couple last few notes. I just wanted to say it was kind of the same thing along Sarah's lines, but congratulations to all of you for coming here on a Thursday morning. Jeff, Dan, Mattia, Star Boss, Epic. I know most of you guys are at work right now and you're trying to multitask, and Ross is in a meeting, for God's sakes. We all know how it is right now. And just taking the time out of your day to do this and learn, it's going to pay off in the future. I guarantee you. And thank you to TSI and the whole crew, Nick, Alisher, Ross, and Sarah for spearheading this recap and these Wednesday spaces. It's so crucial for these people's lives. You're changing people's lives. I love it. Everybody that's here, bring a buddy to ITT number 57. It's the 1-year mark that we met Ross and the team. It's going to be awesome. I guarantee it. The demos are going to go crazy as usual, with maybe a little cherry on top. And thanks for all the sponsors for making these Wednesday spaces happen and possible. Jeff, I had one last little note. If you were deleting stuff on your pages, Divi Builder does have a revisions, and it'll take you back step by step if you want to get back to the spot where you were creating that you wanted to get back to. Besides that, go sign up on the website, sign up the pitch, post what you're working on in the forums, guys. Join that TSI Slack channel. That's a free premium. That's a must join, guys. If you're not in there yet, you got to do it. DM Ross, DM Alisher. Yeah, and I think that's about it. Everybody go on throughout your day, with the intention to innovate and bring those ideas to impact. So I'll leave you with the three famous words: